All right, we're wrapping up in our final interview here tonight. I thank you for sticking with us. We've had kind of a beautiful evening here. It's taken a little bit of extra time because we're doing this networking. We're trading new and shared information. This is the exciting thing, by the way. If you've read a book called Sales Challenger, you know, a lot of us are told, hey, go out there and make friends, play golf, make relationships with happen, and then go ahead and try to sell somebody something. But really, there's a whole new point of perspective on this, and it's being exemplified right here. And that is, you may not know somebody that well, but if you bring them some new information, and we can share the information, and the information is relevant, it can be customized, it actually makes sense, then guess what the prospect's going to say? Let's have a drink. Let's go play golf. Let's learn to know each other. So we've shifted the paradigm. That's what we're doing here today. We're sharing new information amongst ourselves and using that as the basis for new business relationships. Anyway, so I've got a fascinating guest that I can't wait to share with you. He was part of the 1994 Cornhusker championship team. Of course, many of you know that team was led by Tom Osborne, Tommy Frazier. Brooke Behringer was a junior at that time. Joel Makovic, I believe, was in the backfield. And this gentleman played an interesting role at that time, but really captured some fascinating lessons. Before I get into that, though, and introduce this gentleman to you, I do have to say a couple of quick things. People have said to me as we're here, what are you doing here with this online video? What's the point of the whole thing? Where are you going with the idea? So I just want to share this very, very briefly. This is called WOWBIZ TV. What you're watching right now is WOWBIZ TV. It was born in 2009 and 2010 after I had the privilege of consulting with UNL, and I had the opportunity to interview about 65 of Nebraska's top entrepreneurs. We put it up on iTunes back in 2009, and those interviews, just like this, outpulled comparable podcasts from Harvard, from MIT, from Wharton, and from Stanford. UNL, believe it or not, was the top video podcaster in America on iTunes in 2009 and 2010 with these simple and straightforward business dialogues. So that inspired me. When the consulting thing was over, I went on and developed this organization in 2010. It wasn't anything fancy. We kept at it. We kept adding more videos. Creighton and I got involved for a couple years. Some of you in this room have been interviewed by me on camera at Creighton University. And I want to take a second right now at this moment. I appreciate your assistance. If you would please, if you've been on camera with me, either with WOWBIZ Weekly at Creighton or with an Inside Scoop paid infomercial type of interview, I'd appreciate if you'd stand up right now, please. Stand up, please. In this room, if you've been on camera with the WOWBIZ team, I'm looking around, I'm seeing 6, 8, 10, 15 people right here. These people, I just want you to know, they didn't know who I was. They didn't know why they were going to be on camera with me. They knew it wasn't traditional TV, it wasn't on cable, nothing like that. But they came, they participated with me, and I want to give them a salute and thank them for their stepping up and being part of this whole gig. Thank you so very, very much. By the way, as a sidebar to that discussion, Cox Cable is going to be carrying WOWBIZ TV, right like this, on their public access channel. I think that's 22 or something like that. In about a month, we'll begin taping on a regular basis. Very similar format, trying to extract true insight, learning, strategy, design, operations, productivity, marketing, advertising, sales, all of this, packing it together, and then we'll put it up on the web after we get it done, shot in the new public access facility. So it'll be a privilege to do that, and I hope you'll look for me and try to watch the show on Cox and on CenturyLink. All right, this is the climax of our sequence of interviewees. This gentleman was brought to my attention because of David Scott, whom you've already met, a fantastic collaborator. He and his general manager, Steve Hilton. I don't know if Steve is still here. Steve, are you in the back? Back there, is Steve Hilton around? All right, he stepped outside. But I just want you to know this is a special group of people, very foresighted, very visionary, and they brought me this gentleman here. He's a professional speaker. He gets paid well to go around the country and motivate sales forces and management teams. But he agreed. He agreed to be part of this event tonight to kind of break the rules. So let's break the rules, ladies and gentlemen. Stand up and give Mr. Aaron Davis a round of applause. And join me right here, Mr. Aaron Davis. Right here. There we are. You knew I was coming. Good to see you, man. Aaron Davis. There we go. Oh, good to see you. Yeah. So, no. You're looking great. Where are you speaking lately? Where have you been lately? Just give us just a synopsis of the life that you must lead.
It's not as glamorous as you may think it is. I mean, I love what I do. I will say this though, hotels like this, you know, that's part of it's part of my lifestyle, if you would. So you live in a lot of hotels and things of that nature. But I love what I do. It's a ton of fun. There's nights sometimes you wake up and it's dark, and you say, "Where am I?" And you have no idea.
You're disoriented.
A little disoriented, but you know what? At the same time, all this serious, it's a lot of fun. I love what I do. I've been doing it for a long time now, and it's a blast.
But you know, I know you do a lot of motivational speaking. But you know what's interesting? We talk about goals, right? Everybody says goals, good attitude, goals. And I think I shared with you on the phone as we were chatting in preparation for this. You know, it's easy to say goals, but how do you have the right goals, right? How do you really have the right goals? And I think you shared with me, well, it just depends on where you're at in your career and what's going on.
I think a big thing with it is, first of all, there's a book that's an awesome book out. And speaking of books, this is like a shameless plug from my boy Mike, military, but his books are great on rule of thumb that really talks to, encompasses these points about goals. My thing about goals, there's a great book out. It's called Start With Why.
Start with why.
Start with why. And I think that's where it starts at with your goals. You got to know why you're doing it. It can't be to the high school students back there. It can't be mom and dad's goals or grandma's goals. They got to be your goals.
Right.
It's got to be something you're passionate about. It's hard to be passionate about something that someone else's convictions or of something of that nature. So find what you love to do and then form your goals around those things.
You know,
right there.
so many people when we were out here and we're handing business cards out and trying to meet people and they say, "What do you do?" Nobody ever says, "Why do you do what you do?" Right?
Right.
It's always, "What do you do?" And then maybe if we have 5 or 10 minutes, then we talk about how we do it. We skip over the why.
You bet.
You know?
I always bring it back to '93. And first of all, when you brought up the '94 championship team, I was a bench warmer. Saturdays was a day of rest for me. All right? A little R&R for me on Saturdays. I was on the scout team, and the scout team means you ran the other team's plays. So I got beat up Monday through Thursday. And people said you were fast. I wasn't fast. I was scared. I didn't want to get hit.
Okay.
Right? But
now I know I'm listening to a professional speaker now.
But even during that time, though, you know, Lynn, our why for that season was because we wanted to be the best.
Yeah.
And it was very simple. Our why was very simple. Sometimes companies, you find out, you ask them, "What's your mission? What's your goal?" And you walk into their headquarters, and it's a wall with a huge statement that no one in the company knows what it is.
Yeah.
Ours was very simple, win the national championship. Yeah. And the more you simplify your goals, the easier they are to attain. At least easier to remember. When they're just so, you know, it's so complicated and, you know, all these twists in it. Just make it very simple. It's that old saying, "Kiss, keep it simple, stupid." You know, just keep it very simple.
Now, as you get along the way, I know that you've been down a lot of different paths and so on. How tough is it for you? Do you reflect frequently and say, I think I need to get a new goal, or I'm going to refine my goal, and I'm going to be the best speaker in this category, or I want to compete in this category? Or do you have one kind of a big, hairy, audacious goal, and then everything else kind of just falls into place?
You know, I got a lot of them. I would say the biggest thing, it goes back to what we talked about on the phone, though. I think when you set your goals, you got to be willing to change, too. And I think that's a huge thing in our society today. For instance, the people out in the audience, how many grew up with a record player? Raise your hand. Grew up with a record player. Absolutely. Grew up with a record player. Where's your favorite record, sir? Real fast. What was your favorite record, favorite group? I'm sure the students from Central have heard of that before, too. Yeah, you know. And then after the record player, then what do we change to next?
8-track.
8-track. Absolutely. And then after the 8-track, what do we change to next? The cassettes. And now we have modern day technology as of what? CDs. It's called change. Such it is with your goals. You got to be willing to change those things, because there's a quote that I love. It's by a guy named Eric Hoffer. And Eric Hoffer was a prolific writer. He's been gone for a long time ago. But he has this quote that I think is very prevalent to change as you set your goals. He says, in the world today, there's 2 types of people. There's the learners and there's the knowers. He says the learners will inherit the earth, while the knowers will be beautifully equipped to function in a world that no longer exists. Perfect example. How many have a BlackBerry here? Raise your hand. How many used to have a BlackBerry? Raise your hand. You see what I'm saying? BlackBerry had a great goal, but they weren't willing to change.
Yeah.
Such it is with goals.
They didn't adapt, exactly right. Fujifilm adapted, but Kodak did not adapt.
Kodak no longer exists.
You know, when somebody takes you aside and says, "Hey man, I need some personal advice, and I need you to help me get through a crisis, something that's really come heavy on me, you know, and whatever it is, you know, it's grief, the family's broken up, maybe money issues or whatever," I know that they will occasionally cling to a motivational speaker because they feel like you've got you've got your hand in the positive well, and your ability to transfer a positive spirit to them. How do you do that under those circumstances? Is it mostly just listening, or do you always have some hip pocket axioms or a truism or just something that's really, profound that people go, wow, thanks so much, What's it like to live the life you live?
You know what, Lynn, the thing about me, I'm probably the most dysfunctional motivational speaker you'll ever meet in your life. I let them know I'm very transparent. I don't have all the answers. When it comes to grief, unfortunately, I know that all too well. I buried my oldest brother 4 years ago, 46 years old, tragic accident. Wow. And I buried 5 more people after that, none of them over the age of 50.
Yeah.
So when it comes to grief, that was something that I'm still learning to deal with in many ways. Yeah. So I think the key thing is just be transparent with people.
Yeah.
Let them know you don't have to have all the answers.
Yeah.
Many times the best answer are these right here.
Yeah. I read a guy who said, it's too bad that in our society today, we're not comfortable saying, I don't know.
Absolutely.
People don't get hired, they don't get raises, they don't get promotions if they say, I don't know. So they concoct, we talked about authenticity, they concoct insincere or inauthentic answers that really don't reflect where they're truly at.
It's so true because even, I want to keep edging for the students. I spend a lot of time with high school and college students as well. And that generation, they got a sniffer that's good.
Yeah.
They can tell if you're just saying something just for the sake of saying something.
Right.
And many times when you say something when you don't really know the answer, you think about a pilot. If he or she can't land the plane, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want somebody to say, hey, I can't fly.
Right.
I can't do this or that, because then you can learn.
As we kind of wrap up here, you've obviously spent time on a team, and you're a team-oriented individual, but then now you're out on your own. You're an individual on the road, hitting it, Which of those two worlds do you find most attractive? Do you like doing kind of the singular, heroic, knocking on the doors, hitting the motels, speaking, getting people excited, then you're on by yourself? Or do you like the close collaboration? Somebody's got my back, they're watching me, I need their help. Which of those two things appeals most to you?
Lynn, right now, which is a good thing, I have the best of both of them. We have me and my partner in a company in Lincoln called Gear 5 Studios.
Okay.
So it's me and 2 other partners, and we have a number of programmers, not a whole bunch, we're a small little team, and I don't call them staff.
Yeah.
That sounds like a staff infection or something like that,
Sure.
So they're teammates.
Yeah.
But the speaking side is a lot of fun too, because it's allowed me to use that gift and talent that God has given me to do, so I enjoy that part of it too. I think I'm a pretty introverted extrovert though.
You're an introverted extrovert?
I like to be around people, but I enjoy being alone.
Do you?
Quite a bit.
And
I think the other speakers could probably say the same. When you're around people all the time, you enjoy just that time by yourself.
Kind of sucks the energy out of you.
Yeah, it really does.
And you need to kind of restore, pull it back
Absolutely.
together. Do you meditate or pray or anything like that?
A lot of prayer,
Yeah?
a lot of golf, a lot of pray when I golf. I love to play golf, man. Golf is a time for me just to escape. Obviously, those days are coming to a shortage here, but I spend a lot of time in coffee shops and bookstores and just kind of hanging by myself.
Yeah, I have a feeling that we'd probably run across each other in that milieu. So one more time here as we wrap up, what's the next level of success for you, Aaron Davis? And what can we learn from you as you seem like, you've got a really fertile life. You got both left and right side of the brain. You're working it. And what's the next level for you? How does somebody succeed even more? Or is there such a thing at doing what you're doing?
I think that depends on the individual. Everybody's goals are different. Everybody's level of success is different. Everybody's motivated by different things. So for me to even say, I'm going to motivate you tonight, how can I motivate you? I don't know you. But hopefully we can exchange ideas to think about different things that inspire us. For me, it would just be, to see my kids get through school, man. I got a 15-year-old son, a 13-year-old son, an 8-year-old little girl. And I would say my next level of success to make sure I can keep her from not dating until she's about 40.
That's it, huh? That's the final comment of our entire success summit right there. Prevent her from dating the wrong guys too early. I know that.
And I would say to all of them, spend some time though. And a lot of the speakers kind of mentioned that you don't know what you want if you don't spend time alone. You got to spend some time alone. Pray, reflect, think, and ask yourself, what do I really want?
Yeah.
Because reality is this. If you don't know what you want, somebody else will have you do what they want.
That's right. And you'll spend your entire life following their groove instead of following your own individual groove. Aaron Davis, thank you so much for joining us. Outstanding, man.
Thanks, man.
Great job, Mr. Aaron Davis. Woo! Awesome. Thank you for that. Talk to you so much. All right. Hey, Aaron, cue up all of our guys right now. I want to turn that music on back there, Mike.
Absolutely.
We're going to have every single one of our interviewees join me right now up here on stage. We're going to wrap this up shortly. Can I have a singular line right here, please? A singular line. Everybody right here, please. Hurry up. Let's go. These people don't have time. Get up here. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? What do you think? Huh? This is an awesome group of people here. You can learn. Very good. Very, very good. Yes. Awesome job. Awesome job. All right, mix amongst yourselves. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you again in 2014. Thank you, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.